Howdy folks, Grok the DuckFarmer here, and I'm on the FTOG Ozone Skyblock Reborn server, and I'm getting all up in your grill right here. Yep, real close. That's because I'm down here in my power station, and I set up this. This is a power flower, well, somewhat power flower from Project E, and if we spin around, I've got my energy condenser, the Mark II there. It's surrounded by 5 of these antimatter relays, one's on top, and then we've got a bunch of these energy collectors. How many? There's 13 of them. I could put 4 more underneath, but because they're not actually getting light from above, I don't know if they would actually do anything. And it's working well enough in here. Anyway, if I open up, I taught it to make for me these crystal matrix ingots. That's pretty decent amount of EMC. And how many? Yeah, I've got 5 in the last little bit. So that's pretty decent. So that's working for me. And okay, that's just gonna bug me for a little bit here. Okay, there, now I feel a little bit better. There we go, that looks much better. Anyway, so that's set up, and I can do things with that EMC. This right now is just collecting EMC. There's 2.2 million EMC just sitting there. That's going to hold quite a lot. And if I really need to, I could do the block of those diamond matrices and or crystal matrices. They use diamonds in there too. And I could hold even more in the same chest. But we got stuff to do. And we're not going to do that right this very second. Let's go back up here. Because there's a few other things that I wanted to do. I wanted to sit there and make the neutron collector because well, let's go here, neutron ingots. There's stuff I can do with the nuggets. I can sit there and make the soul stone. Ultimate crafting, a lot of these things to make the top tier of these solar panels. That's useful. If I hit the uses for these neutronium bits, I can do some click. Some of these, so that's how I make the petals. Normal, it would be all black dark matter blocks, but different in here if I'm thinking right. That's the one. Combined with a whole bunch of these bad boys, matrices and infinity catalysts, and you can get the infinity ingot, and that's for a lot of these end game bits. So, you know, I'm going to need some of these neutronium ingots. I can also make food with these, or one of the parts of it. So what I need to do is right here, I upgraded this to the ultimate crafting because that's the top tier thing. And now that I have access to red matter, I can make these things. Double compressed crafting table, that's just 81 crafting tables put together. That makes the doubled. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and make this a neutron collector. And we'll go up and around here. And I'm going to put it here with his friend. Actually, let me just stick it right there. Go click here and extract yes. So what that's going to do, those two, because yes, I've been letting this run for a while. Those two output into the drawer controller, well, the slave of the drawer controller, and that's coming around here into the back. And yeah, it's been doing it for a while, and I've been AFKing. The other thing that has been producing probably the bulk of these has been the seed. In fact, if we take a look at the neutronium seed, I think it was like the 5th ingot that I got. I went ahead and made the seed because, you know, I could. I also needed to make some more because if I hit the U on this, it needs to sit around a neutronium crux, and that needs another 4. So the first 8 that I had, I went ahead and made those 2, set up a plant over there in my mystical agriculture area, and then I just AFK'd with my harvest goddess bat, and boy howdy did that make stuff. Yes, it did. Speaking of stuff that I made the transmutation table. We hit the R for that. It's a lot of dark matter blocks and red matter blocks, which I now have, and insanium, which is just prosperity shards and insanium, and that has EMC, so I just make it that way. It's cheap, so I can do that. But now I can carry around all my stuff, so I can build things remotely, which is really cool. You can go away, you can go away. Next thing I need to do is make the quantum compressor, so I can start compressing stuff like, hey, the singularities. Now for that, I need. Let's come over here. I need these bits. Let's take the bronze out. I need these bits, and they all have EMC, so totally not a problem. I've made all of those to make the upgraded crafter there. And then this, if we look at this, I need this black iron frame. No EMC on that. dang it. All of these have EMC except that, the ultimate gear. Yeah, that needs all those little doohickeys. Well, fine. We can do this. Let's come over here where I've got all of these doohickeys. And can I hold them all? I can't. Let's get rid of you. And actually, I'm going to get rid of that right now so I can hold those two. So if I come over to this, and I wonder if it cares about order. It would be super nice if it does not care about order. Yes, it doesn't care about order, which makes me happy. Good news is almost all of these things. Can I sort this? No. Some of these top tier gears don't from Ender.io, but all these thermal series ones do. So I went ahead and made them and taught my table. Now I've got the ultimate gear. Da, 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 da. That goes here. That gives me the black iron frame, and that goes here, and that gives me the quantum compressor. And I was going to say, I'm sure there's some sort of a quest for that, and there was. That was a counter. I needed to make 9 more of the energy relays, or it's from the Project E, and so I that's how I used to count them. Anyway, let's go downstairs because now I can take this out, and I want to put this in its place, the quantum compressor. Do you need power? It does need power. However, if I tell it bronze, let's go look at the, nope, the Singularity. Oh, I need an ultimate catalyst here, and then the bronze goes in. Alrighty. I'm going to go up here, and I'm going to say, stop doing that, start doing bronze. This is how I'm going to generate for most of these things, the stuff I need. And yeah, I'm going to have to get a faster piece in there. I have no idea how fast this is going to run. I need that ultimate. What's it? Let's grab that. And it's coming to here. Fortunately, nope, let's not click on things. Ultimately, there we go. Nope. I think, did I not have that programmed? Singularity, the ultimate catalyst. I need 4 of those, and that black, I may not have the catalyst. Oh, nope, I did. Oh, that's the elite. That's not the ultimate. Well, if I have my mouse over something and I hit, so if I got my mouse here while I'm typing and I hit either an R or a U, it either wants to see what's the recipe for making this or what can this be used for other recipes. While I do like that, not when my mouse is just randomly over something. Let's click a black here. All right, let's make this bad boy. I had to make these before, but I don't recall actually having taught this. And now I do. Oh, let's keep those. Oh, pipe. Let's grab a faster thing, because if we're making lots and lots and lots, I want it to go fast. There we go. Oh, and I also need power. I forgot. I need the power. You go there. And now this will start. There's no power here, and yet it's working. Ooh. Okay, are you really? Holy cow, that went pretty darn fast, didn't it? What if I give it a little bit of EMC? So yes, that's definitely working. And this limited input, this seems to work really, really well. Here, let's give them all. Did I break it? Oh, there's. Oh, I wonder if it's not finishing because it has no power. Okay, so I really, really do need power. And let's grab some gates. Gate, how many? Oh, these wimpy starter gates. That's okay. I won't make one right now on camera, but this may be sufficient. Let's run over here and just go thunk. And now will you make me the... Are you not getting any power? Let's give you 2. Are you... Why are you not doing it? Oh, it's just really, really, really slow. All right. I'm going to take this power here because I don't need to run that right now this very second. But I will put this there. That's more power. I'm not sure if that's going any faster or not. How are you doing up here? Yeah, this is maxed out power. It's yeah. So this will, for me, make the bronze ingot. Actually, I'm going to break that. Oh, wait a second. Oh, that's probably telling me what it's currently making. Ah, okay, that's got to be it. If we look at just singularities, there's bronze, and the next one, electrum. Well, let's go make us some electrum. Let's come back over here. I think electrum. Yep, that's an electrum right there. So while it's making my singularity, let's go teach it something new. And let's come into here and say, stop making bronze and start making for me Okay, Electrum's a bad one. I actually, it has no EMC, so I should check this before. Let's put the Electrum away. What's the next one that has the EMC? Steel. Steel has EMC. Yes, it does. And that's my steel ingot. Let's just look at it real quick. Yes, it has EMC. Good. You know, things that do or don't have EMC catch you. Let's put you here. Doink. And so that'll start making that, and I will pull these out and feed them into the system. So I can have some bronze go away, because I don't need no more bronze, but I do want steel. All right. I don't have, oh, I do have enough room for that. Cool. All right. What are you, there's my bronze singularity. And now I can tell this to do steel. And there's it starting steel, and we'll connect that. And now it's feeding it the steel. So as far as all the stuff that requires EMC, this is how I'm going to make it. And did I lose the EMC from up in here? It might not have buffered well. Huh. I might have lost a little EMC with that, but I don't care. This is just going to craft. All right, while that's doing its craftiness, I'm going to, all right, I gotta look. Let's come up here and dump off the singularity for now. I don't need that netherite chest. I could have put the netherite chest down there and made the singularity. Don't need that, don't need that, don't need that. What I do want to look at is this here is the teleporter frame. No, this is just the teleporter control gear from Mechanism. And that opens up a questy. Yep, it does. And then this will make 9 of the teleporter frames, and that's just refined in glowstone. Okay, guess what? That all these things have EMC. Oh, there's the end of my the mechanism quest chain, so that's good. I just stuck that there just because I could, and I was trying to not lose it in the system. But I might feed that into the power flower down there, but may not. Anyway, so now I've got these teleporter frames. If I go into here, move my mouse away, teleporter, I can get another one of these frames, and then I need 9 more of these. And now I can set up 2 teleporter frames. And I have something that I want to build. So I think I will set that up for right now. And this is going to take a while to build. Now, I have a plan. And this is probably not the best location to set up a teleporter location, but I'm going to go with it anyway. I'll put that there and put the 9 blocks around it like this. I believe you can do anything you want size-wise. And, that's kind of, I guess, the minimum. Let's move you back just a little bit. Aim for that side. There we go. So, and right there, I kind of like having a solid on the other side, especially a light block on the other side. So it feels like I'm not running through to my death if the system lags for some reason. Now, what you'd want to do is come into here. I set it to private. I went ahead and decided to set Khufu as the destination. and it's already set to that frequency in here. And I set it to yellow for a reason. And I'm teasing you because I'm not going through it yet. Now, let's go. This is what I did. I set up a second one of these and configured it. It's called Khufu, and I have a nice little landing pad here, and I've got a whole bunch of sandstone, a whole bunch of sandstone laid out in a grid here. Now, show of hands from everybody, and not the same people as all the time. If I've got a grid like this, and I'll tell you it's a square, and the keyword is Khufu, then yeah, okay, you in the back, you recognize that, yes, I'm talking about the Great Pyramid of Giza that was built by the pharaoh Khufu from the 4th dynasty of the Old Kingdom, don't you know? And so we're talking about 4,600 years back, quite a long time. This is kinda to scale in Minecraft. Now, it can't be 100% to scale, and this is sandstone. It's actually built out of limestone, but there's no limestone in the pack. So desert sandstone, I'm going with sandstone. This is, if I consider each block of these a meter, and the Great Pyramid of Giza has a width of 230 meters and a third, but I'm ignoring that. I actually subtracted a block from each side. That's where those sea crystals are. So this inner piece here is 200, and it's 2 blocks smaller, 228 blocks. And I did one other thing. It's actually 227 blocks wide, because I'm building odd. I'm not building even like the Egyptians did. They actually built this to be 440 cubits with the length on the side. Well, I'm not using cubits. It's the distance from your elbow to the tip of your index finger. If you're the pharaoh and that's your cubit. So I'm not using cubits, and 2, I'm doing it by a singular center. Ooh, that got bright right there real fast. So that I have a single center block. That's what I'm doing. Yes, I'm going to build the Great Pyramid of Giza here in Minecraft. I've not done it before. I'm just thinking it would be fun to do. It's going to take a while because it's freaking huge. It's way out of render distance. Unfortunately, this is going to have a slope of 45 degrees, and the real pyramid has a slope of 51 degrees and a fraction. I can't do that in Minecraft, so sue me. But I'm going to go ahead and do it, and that's the main reason why I wanted this, so that I could come in here and say, give me sandstone. Now I've got lots and lots of, I've got an entirely full inventory of sandstone. So if I go dunk like this, and I don't actually want that block there, but now I can come in here and I can just fly backwards and lay down sandstone. This makes life much, much easier for building this. Could I use the okay, let me think for a second. I'm about 4 sentences ahead of what I'm actually speaking, which is a terrible thing. Could I use my Infinity Wand to help make this? Yes, but I'm not doing this as a solid. That's a lot of sandstone. I'm not doing that. It took a whole bunch of Egyptians a long amount of time to make all of the limestone blocks and fit them all together. I'm just me. There's not a whole lot of them. So it's going to take me a while to do this. And unfortunately, it's not putting it down as fast as I would like, because if I go back faster, I stop placing them. So it's going to take a little bit of time. However, it's not going to be all that hard. It's just going to take me a little bit of time. Now I just turn and I start working on part 2 of the second layer. It's going to take me a while. And when I thought about building this, I was going, why am I doing this? Future Grok here. Past Grok is a jerk because he should have looked up this information instead of just going by memory, because he got a lot of things wrong just going with what he barely remembered. So I spent some time looking up this stuff, and this, am I 100% correct? No, but I'm going to be much better than I was before. Anyway, so the Great Pyramid of Giza was built by the pharaoh Khufu, fourth dynasty, Old Kingdom. We're talking more than 4,500 years ago, a long time ago. And when people think Great Pyramid, wonders of the world, stuff like that, this is the pyramid that people think about. It is huge, 230 meters wide, 150 almost meters tall. The top has been taken away, but people have stolen stuff, or maybe it fell over. I don't know. I wasn't there. It used to have a smooth side, but that's all gone too. Again, it wasn't me. I wasn't there. You can believe me on that. But one of the things that I remember hearing his name pronounced differently, and I realized that Khufu, from what I'm understanding, is closer to the original Egyptian pronunciation, and Cheops is the Greekified version of Khufu, because the last few pharaohs of Egypt before it was conquered by the Romans were Hellenistic. They were Greek in origin, based off of Alexander the Great. His father was the pharaoh Sneferu, and he built 3 pyramids during his time. And we can see a progression going on with these pyramids. And that's what, I geek out about history because I love history. The first pyramid is what they call the Meidum step pyramid. And a lot of people say this is like a failed pyramid. So if you look at it, you can see the steps where, it's not smooth sided. It's just different layers. And a lot of the previous pyramids were these step pyramids. But the archaeologists are saying, no, this is one of the first pyramids that they tried to do a steep side on them, but they didn't plan this out right. The step part, which they built initially, that's based on the bedrock below. But when they started to do the smooth slope pyramid sides, that was on sand. And so the current guess at this point, because nobody really knows, but is that there was a major rainstorm and there was a catastrophic collapse of all the sides, which is why you see the center and you can see that dump of stuff around it. Yeah, that's where the pyramid above it collapsed down and fell, and it was abandoned. So Sneferu started work on his second temple or pyramid. There's always a temple dedicated to the pharaoh alongside. Anyway, the bent pyramid, because it starts at 54 degrees, which is pretty darn steep. And then they realized that steepness was having too much weight pressing down, and it was actually starting to collapse. Again, structural failures, broken rocks underneath. And so they said, whoops, that's too steep. Let's go in at 43 degrees angle. And that's why you've got the 2 angles on the pyramid, and hence it's called the bent pyramid. And they learned a lot from this. And they said, yeah, 54, that's way too much. So the third and final one that Sneferu worked on was what they called the red pyramid. And its angle is 43 degrees, the same as the top part of the bent pyramid. And this is what the people are calling, at least Wikipedia, are calling the first of the true smooth-sided pyramids. Everything else before that isn't smooth-sided. The bent pyramid has that bent. It's not smooth. The step pyramid at Meidum, well, all the sides fell off, so it's not a straight-sided either. So this one is the first red limestone, and frankly really pretty because of the way it stands out amongst all the rest of the landscape there. But this was the first one. Nobody knows if he was actually buried here because we don't really have a body to look at, but that's okay. Anyway, so I'm going to try to do the Great Pyramid of Giza, and it's going to take a lot of blocks. And there you have, at least on the map, a full pyramid. But one thing bugs me, because it is exactly, if I measure from corner to corner, the difference is 229, which makes it odd. Which makes it really odd that it's got a block of 4 here in the center. I can't explain it because that's even. But I've checked it. Yeah, Yes, because when I measured from that corner to that corner there, back there, 229. Oh well. I just assumed that the Egyptians, they wanted an odd, and it just ended up even because that's the magic of pyramids, I guess. One thing that is happening here, as you can see around me, there's lots of mob spawning, which is loads of fun. Witches and spiders are the only thing I don't have charms for. Everything else, oh, and the blitzes or basalts or whatever the different things that spawn here. Other than that, everything's fine. Now, one thing that I do want to do is cover this because, okay, yes, I've got a full pyramid. In fact, if we fly a little bit away and look back, it's quite imposing as a structure. And I should have counted, but I never did, the number of inventories that I filled up with sandstone to make this thing. And holy cow, that's huge. I would assume that perspective-wise, we would see something fairly similar if we were standing there at Giza looking up and going, holy cow, that's huge. Because it's 229 meters across. That's 230 if we round up. Good enough. Anyway, I'm that took me about 3 hours to do. And I know it took about 3 hours because while I was doing this, I watched An American in Paris, and I'm halfway through Father Goose. Both of them have Leslie Caron in them. That's the only linkage other than they're fun. And yeah, that's 3 hours, which was fairly fast. But now I could sit there and say, yeah, there's the Pyramid of Cheops. Now, no, that's not Cheops. The Khufu. I should go ahead and break some of the blocks at the top because they're missing punch through several entrances where people have explored. But I don't want to do that. Instead, when this was actually set up originally, they had these stair-step blocks, but then they coated it in a slope of finer cut stone. And I keep thinking it's marble. I don't know if it's marble or just a different color limestone. I'm not sure, and I don't want it to do it that way. So what I want to do is go around this and those guys, whatever those guys are. What are you guys? Blitzes? They are blitzes. You go away, and you go away. Anyway, so I'm thinking, because I don't have marble in here, and I don't need that loot bag or those moats. Because I don't have marble in here, hey, I just said I don't need you guys. I'm going to go with something else to coat this, and that will also stop the mob spawns. I should sleep. But I'm going to go with smooth quartz. Stop it. You're interrupting my video. And the smooth coat should make this look pretty nice. In fact, if we some more of them, that'll give it a nice smooth coat that I think should make it look really good. And these guys are very annoying. So yeah, I am gonna sleep. Now this is a big pyramid. I keep going, holy cow, this is a big pyramid. So I've gone ahead and covered it all with these sloped blocks you can see in my other hand, not the one that I'm punching with, but in my left hand, because if I have my, I think it's in this hand, yep, if I've got that building wand in my regular hand and a block in my offhand, I can place that down when I go ahead and use my wand. Made life so much easier. Now, what I did have to do is there in the corners, I had to use a different size block. In fact, if we spin over, let's go this direction. These are all just the 45-degree angle blocks. However, the corners are different. And if we take a quick look, you can see I've added some marble in these. No, it's the quartz. And you can see this is the corner piece. So we've got this nice smooth line going up. So that's like a stack and a half going all the way up, and another stack and a half. And yeah, it was fun because I had to put at least 2 blocks, either this one and that one, or 2 of these, to stop my wand from building around and having it facing the wrong direction. But anyway, that's working. What I'm going to do now is I've been playing with this. If I stand here and I look down, and then I just kind of right click so that it places blocks. This is how I can fill this up with the smooth quartz to get a nice, even, smooth surface on this pyramid. Because, yes, I definitely want something to look much, much nicer than this. As for time, I finished the second half of Father Goose, and I now I'm trying to figure out what's the next movie I'm going to watch, because this is kind of mindless walking around. I don't even have to worry about mobs anymore because they don't spawn on these sloped frame blocks. So that works out really, really nicely. And there's occasional lights. Those are from the mana blasts that I have, that are underneath when I was setting things up. That's why you kind of see those occasionally. So yeah, this is just going to take a whole lot of smooth I keep wanting to call marble. No, they didn't actually use marble. It was a white or a very lighter limestone, because most of the stuff that was being used by the pharaohs at this time of Khufu and Snefer were all limestone. Now, some of the later ones, they were working with granite, which is a much harder rock, and it's harder to work with, especially if all you've got is copper tools. And this is pre-iron civilization, so yeah, they didn't have much by way of good tools. Now, some of the stuff that the later dynasties used was granite, and it's amazing that they were able to actually cut it out. And there's differing opinions as to how they were able to do it. I have no idea. I wasn't there. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and put on another movie and start figuring out just how much of this smooth quartz needs to go here. And I will forever be calling it the marble when it's not. It's limestone. It's really quartz. Progress update time. I've gotten up to, that's maybe a quarter of the way up. It is getting faster as I go around. Alrighty, I think this is it for adding the, yeah, it's limestone, but it's not lightweight limestone. It's actually the smooth, and I do like the smooth quartz. It does look really good. I also had fun and set up a quick little land, desert land for this to sit on, because it's got to be more than just floating in air. Now it's floating on a piece of land that's floating on air. Anyway, it's time to put the capstone in place. And do we know what they did in the Old Kingdom? No, well, we don't. There are no existing capstones. Pyramidions, that's a term for it. Anyway, I'm going to go with gold because I've got it. And if they actually did gold, it probably would have been just gold leaf along the surface. They wouldn't have done solid gold. And part of the reason why they're all gone is people said, yeah, I'll take that, and blink, away it went. We do have some existing one of these capstones from later pyramids, and they were all made out of like black granite and other sort of things. But I'm going with gold because I can. Now, with this setup, it's all lit up, and that prevents the mobs from spawning, because boy, howdy do they spawn. I am getting turtles around here, and if we pull back a whole bunch, and unfortunately it's going night, which is not so grand, it's it's just freaking huge. Oh, with it, we're cutting off at the top. It's so big. You can see a little bit of a light effect and a turtle trying to climb the pyramid here. I'm tempted to put a row of glowstone along the edges just to light up the edges, but I'm not sure how well that would look. But this this is pretty imposing. One thing that's still missing is to put some sort of temple complex here, either on the north or west, sometime, or east. I know during the Sun King period time, they put them on the north, but a lot of times they would put them on the east. And now I'm trying to remember if I've reversed that or not. And I don't care, because I think I'm going to go with north and build out something here, just a little something. because quite often the priests would be here to offer offerings to the Egyptian gods and to the pharaoh and keep his name alive. So the people would always remember who the pharaoh was. Okay, that's just huge. And it is done. Behind me, I have the mortuary temple for the pharaoh who's been buried in this monster of the pyramid. And you could sit there and say, okay, Grok, I know you're not an archaeologist, and I know you don't really know much about Egypt other than what you've read and watched, which is true. So you just threw together some random pile of blocks and called it a mortuary temple. Well, no, this is kinda Minecraftily accurate as best we have. There are some things I definitely changed. Like I added some obelisks out of the red granite because later of the kingdoms did that. At this point, they weren't working in granite because granite was too hard, and later they figured out how to work with granite. I don't have any inscriptions anywhere because, hello, it's Minecraft. I don't have hieroglyphics. They would not have worked in quartz. They would have used the white limestone that they really liked for something expensive like this. That's what they would have done. I also, lots of columns. Oh yes, they had tons of columns in their buildings to hold up the slabs for the roof, and that's why you've got this large open space here because there's no columns here to hold up a roof. I added some more obelisks in here for fun, especially since I had the frame blocks for the little nice little pyramid pointy parts at the top. I did add here a little water feature so that you could come in and they could do stuff because you're in a middle of a freaking desert. Having water available is a sign of wealth. They did that, but not here, not in this one. Then also coming back through here was the actual inner sanctuary where they would be offering things to the pharaoh in his name to remind him and all that. And there were also tucked around here to the side little passageways here for additional offerings to give, and then access out to the temple itself. Not the temple, the pyramid, that thing, that big monster that I just built. So yeah, it's kind of patterned off of the what we think the mortuary temple is because it's all collapsed, but people have done some archaeological excavations there, and it's Minecraft accurate for that. And unfortunately, it's a problem because I would want so much more decoration in here, but I really don't have the capability of doing the statuary they would have, the hieroglyphics that they would have carved all over walls and stuff like that. So I'm just going to go with that. Oh, yes, and we've got turtles galore. There's several patches where there's just gobs of turtles, but that is just a monster of a build. One thing that I did find out, here, if I turn on the lights and I drop down, since I was playing with the framed blocks, here is a framed block that I put the sand on, and then I hit it with glowstone. And so that's given me light as opposed to shooting and then having these. You can still see that little bit of particle effect there. This is even better. And one other thing that I discovered as I was playing with this is if I have a framed block in my hand that I'm placing and I have something in my offhand, it instantly places that offhand item into the framed block. That would have made this up here so much easier. But I would have constantly had to have swapped things into my offhand, and so that wasn't really a possibility. I was expecting to make this a long piece. And then I realized once I found a diagram of the mortuary temple for Khufu that I said, oh, it's much smaller. Okay, I will do that there. And it was fun. Stuff that I've not really done for a long time, like a mega project like this. It's been a long time, and I kind of like how this works. I love the hidden lights. It just occurred to me now I've got nothing but bare sand up here, and I should do a little bit of trees and stuff to just kind of make it a little bit more deserty. But I am enjoying this. This was a very long but a very fun build for me. And one of the things that I was saying, did I want to put lights all the way around? No. I did put lights at the base with glowstone. It was something like maybe 20 stacks of glowstone, just so that there's a smooth light at the bottom, and it's you can just barely start to see it. I did put some light on the gold blocks up at the top, just so that it shines a little bit more. Yeah, you can just barely see the yellow of the gold up there, and it's a freaking huge build. I'm constantly in awe every time I keep seeing this, going, holy crap, people built this. Or if, you listen to the one guy, aliens. But otherwise, yeah, people built this over a long amount of time. This was not something done at a whim. This was something done by a powerful pharaoh. And it's amazing. All right, enough geeking out about the amazingness of that. Anyway, this has been Grok the DuckFarmer here, having a blast here on the FTOG Ozone Skyblock Reborn server, building a pyramid. And I did it in about a week. Take that, Khufu. You were slow. Thanks for watching. Bye. Bonus bit. I know it took me about 9.5 hours of continuous building to make the pyramid and the area around it in the mortuary temple, because here's the list of movies. I watched An American in Paris, which stars Leslie Caron, and then I followed that with Father Goose, also starring Leslie Caron. It starred Trevor Howard, and so I watched The Count of Monte Cristo, the 1975 version, which also stars Trevor Howard. The Count of Monte Cristo has Richard Chamberlain in it, and so King Solomon's Mines has Richard Chamberlain in it. But I wasn't going to watch it because that's a crappy movie and it's not worth watching. But King Solomon Mines also has Shannon Stone in it, and so I watched Sphere, which has her in it. Sphere has Samuel L. Jackson, so I watched Long Kiss Goodnight, and I love the quotes and the stuff in there. It's great. And that had Gina Davis, and so I started watching Cutthroat Island, and about halfway through that, so that's about 9.5 hours. And now you know.